Yes. Hi, Sana. I think we are live, and very good morning or good afternoon. I think it's a lovely morning in Perth here. Yeah.
Yes, the weather
Yeah.
is getting. So,
Let's just give. Sorry, go on.
yeah, dude. I think we can start.
Yeah. I think let's just give another 10 seconds. 10 seconds to get people coming in if there are any. Anyway, it's recorded, so it's always available. And hoping that everybody will like what we're going to talk about today. And yeah. Okay, so I think we can rock and roll now. I'll just stop this. Okay. Sana, all yours. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello and welcome everybody to another one of our LinkedIn live sessions. It's me, Sana, and with me I have Vikram Sareen. And so today we'll be talking about what is missing and what is it that people are looking for in multi-factor authentication. So we've spent the last 6 months talking to our partners and clients, potential clients and friends in the industry. And what we have come to realize is that fintechs and banks are looking not just as OTP as a one-time password for authentication or authenticating transactions, sorry, but there's actually a lot of potential within this MFA domain. So today we'll be talking about that. Yep,
Yeah,
Vikram?
and I think I just want to quickly cover the slide. See, when the world started, we had one, like organism with one cell, and look at us as humans. We are highly complex with trillions of cells. And I think same thing is happening in security, where I think what used to work 5 or 10 or 20 years back doesn't work now because we are constantly evolving and becoming more complex. And security is no more easy. I think it's a very, very complex, aspect. Having the FOMO, fear of missing out, and JOMO, joy of missing out. So I think it's very, very important, to understand that we are getting more complex, right? And we all have to accept that and solve a much complex problem. Yeah. So Sana, back to you. Just wanted to emphasize that because when I talk to people, they are like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So let's acknowledge that it's getting, but it's evolving. That's the good part. It's evolving and making it better. Yeah, we are becoming better.
Yes. So, what was the most asked for feature? With 85% increase in views and 60%, 67% increase in responses, in creating learning and awareness through videos, and push Q&A was the most commonly asked for feature. Vikram, can you share how and why does this make sense?
I think, in simplicity, we have always been, telling people that, okay, go for a security training program for a day, sit there for for 4 hours, 6 hours, and ask them to learn everything, which really doesn't happen because, again, it's complex, right? And a person who's doing a job in, HR or, in logistics or in supply chain, he doesn't really care about security. But what we look at it is, in the world of Instagram and, Facebook feeds and Meta and all that, it's much easier to accept, a simple push coming onto your phone and then getting into your, like showing you a little video. So, I've just started playing this, but the key essence is that firstly, your awareness program doesn't become a one day, capsule, but it actually becomes over time, kind of, like a flow where, you keep on pushing data, you are able to track it, you're able to analyze who has watched it, what they've responded with. And I think that is where security token comes very, very useful, because if your security token has a feature of making a push onto your security token and then asking the person to watch a video, like in this case, just a random video, but that is a huge opportunity which can be leveraged upon, so that's something which I feel that a security token, can help us out in a big way. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yes. So, re-KYC is essentially doing an e-KYC for your already existing customers. Right now, this is a mandate. Customer due diligence is mandated. This needs to be done every 12 to 18 months. And I'm just thinking that if a bank has
Wait,
thousands of
Sana,
customers,
it's not broadcasting. It's not broadcasting. Hi.
Yes, we are
Oh
live.
my
I
God.
can see that we are live. No, we are live, Vikram.
Okay, sorry. I
It
just got a
is.
message saying it's okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. Please continue.
Yes. So, what I was talking about is a re-KYC, which is essentially, doing an e-KYC for your existing customers. And I'm thinking that if a bank has thousands of customers and revalidating everybody's details every 12 to 18 months, I'm sure is a big mammoth task that involves cost, it involves time, it involves people. So 90% of the FIs that we spoke to did say that they need a better, more efficient way to address this situation. And
Yeah.
of course, moving digital is the way forward, right? So, can you share how a security token can be useful with re KYC of customers?
Yeah, fantastic. I think this is something that will happen in coming, I think coming every token should have it, or any embedded application should have it. So obviously security token, does take it ahead. But the whole objective over here is sorry, was that, okay.
Yeah,
So firstly, because you have the security token, you have Sana, am I hearing two of me or one of me?
one of you.
Okay, cool. What happens over here is that because as a process you have to, as a compliance and regulation or the customer, a due diligence, you have to do re-KYC. Now you could have global customers, you could have local customers, so doing that on paper or through fax or email is crazy. So if you have given the security token and or embedded inside your app like mobile or web, you can invoke through a message, what you see on the screen, and then it takes you through the process of customer onboarding. So one of the key things I love is that it actually takes it ahead from your paper driven customers, which are the old customers, and move them into the pure digital. And anybody who's coming today anyways into the the eKYC bandwagon, right? So it really benefits and brings the re-KYC part, and towards the digital transformation, in a true essence. So this is something that definitely is coming in, and security token should and be able to offer this, because all these things in eKYC are getting done. So why not inside a token, or why not embedding inside your application?
Right. So, 95% of companies responded that they have password and OTP fatigue. But it's not just the fatigue; it's also the cost of OTP that is very high. For your
Mm-hmm.
global task force, for your huge customer base, I'm thinking for a banks or FI, it's really very costly. So, how do we
Uh-huh.
address that? Uh, you know
Yeah. Uh,
what is the way to address that?
uh, See what, okay, adaptive is a very interesting module which is coming towards it. So earlier what happened was that, we had the multi-factor where you're asking password, OTP all the time for every transaction. But then we brought in risk-based authentication, which was at the back end, to make it a little bit more exciting by introducing AI. But then what happened was that it was still not able to reduce, the effort of, the OTPs that were getting asked or people who were trying to come in. So, what happened was that now with the mobile first, you have the AI coming onto the phone, as a SDK, putting it inside your application. And inside that, you are able to track the user, how they hold their phone, how, whether they are changing directions or they have, are they in a moving train? So what you do and what you are can be very beautifully tracked. And that gives us the benefit of what we call it as intelligent automation or intelligent authentication. So with that, you're able to reduce the stress on the passwords, because if you know that Vikram is coming, from the same location using his same device, I don't have to enter OTP again, right? So that suddenly, and if there are thousands and thousands of Vikrams, then suddenly your cost comes down because you're able to identify. And if anybody is unique, let's say I go to Singapore, I go to Hong Kong, then in that scenario, because of there's a change, I get asked for OTP, but that will be one in, let's say, 100 days or 500 days, right? Especially in COVID, none. But that's the whole idea. So it really, really removes away the aspect. So what you see on the screen is the ability where the person's coming in. So this is just a demo app, but it all gets embedded inside, like a CCTV or a tracker, and it's able to monitor this thing. So in this case, my colleague is typing, the way he types, and you would see that, even though it's registered, it's able to pick up and accurately tell, like initially it will be lower score, 63, 30 and all that. But over time, it will become more confident, it will become more smarter. So in 10th or 12th transaction, you are able to bring a much better security, which is intelligent, that is able to help you and remove away all the burden. And that should be part of, the security token that you're looking at. Yeah. So not just risk-based authentication, but also adaptive authentication on the mobile front end. Yeah, Sana, I think next one.
Fantastic. So talking about consent, third party partners like insurance or fintechs, they need consent from their users to access their data. And this is mandatory in Europe, Australia under CDR, right? But the problem is, how do you get that? How do you get their consent? Users need a very simple way to see and approve. And could these tokens help with that? Because this is a big, this is something that all the banks and enterprises, they would like for their partners to access these. So, what is the best way to take this forward?
Totally. I think any security token going forward should have this feature, because at the end of the day, if I'm a customer, if I'm an employee and my data is getting shared, so what you see on the screen is that is just a little mock application which I've just showing you. So let's say it's an insurance company or a fintech who's saying, okay, Vikram's bank statements are needed. So all the system does in this case is like operator goes, says, okay, hey Vikram, this is what is accessed, and I get a push onto my phone. It actually says, okay, here it is. And then, says, okay, go ahead and Vikram, this so-and-so company is asking you to, get your data. Do we have access to that? Now, that's the most beautiful way. And plus you can have, a biometrics option where the person, can put a face ID or touch ID to further, fortify it. But consent-driven opportunity, I would say, which opens up much bigger, I would say, ecosystem in terms of fintechs, in terms of regtechs, in terms of, anything else. Is the way forward. And I think your security token should have this, because if you're doing the authentication and onboarding, then consent becomes the next step, right? And in Australia, CDR is enforcing that. That means the customer should give access to the data. And the most beautiful way is that if you have it on your token. So just a push comes onto you and you're able to do the job. Yeah.
Okay. So video calling. I have used the video call feature, that's there in LinkedIn, and I feel that it makes it so real. It's rich, and there's an element of human connection over there. So a lot of the companies will be looking into video calling. And do you think that the mobile app with security can also leverage on this video calling tech?
Oh, completely. I think the next generation of experience, even if you look at LinkedIn, what you said, and plus, whatever we are doing right now is essentially a video call, getting broadcasted. So that will become part and parcel, because of the richness, because of it being real, because of it being human, and that will drive away possibly the premium banking, account verification, and many other things like that. So very quickly, just to show you, so from, let's say, a dashboard, you invoke, so the operator is invoking a particular call, coming over here, and then the person is, getting onto a push. That means I am a user, I get a push, and then from there, my call gets originated. So, sorry, I think I clicked to the next button. But the whole idea of video calling getting embedded in your mobile banking or insurance app will benefit tremendously, taking it forward. And it's not just about security token. What you would ponder upon is that where is the call getting originated? Is the call secure? Where is the call getting recorded? So when you look at those questions, then that's where the security comes into play. And your security token or your embedded security SDK will be able to answer those questions, or should be able to answer those questions. Yeah. Next one, Sana. I think,
Right.
I'm not sure how much time we have. Yeah. Okay.
Moving on. That's all right. Moving on to MFA, true MFA, so we have 2FA, we have 3FA, we have MFA, and like your OTP is 2FA, passwordless is MFA. And I wanted to discuss with you that how do we protect not just logins but also transactions. And So what is the best way forward? Because cyber attacks are definitely, as we
Correct.
know, on the rise, and that is
Yeah.
going to be the trend moving forward.
Yeah, no,
So,
totally. And I think, if you have man in the middle attack, if you have DNS
mm,
poisoning, these are the kind of attacks which are able to bypass OTP. And I still, have banking, like, most of the banks I bank with, as an individual, I still get OTP and I still ask to key it in. Now, that itself, I feel a little bit vulnerable over there. But what you're seeing right now is where a user just did a slide, and the geolocation, the device, all these kind of things were captured, posted to the server, and the authentication happened. So it was not just your simple OTP, but it was certificate, location, your device, your traits, your push engine, getting used, which is out of band, and many other things that are getting, taken ahead. Then QR codes. Now, what happens with the QR code? What you see on the screen is the push is that you can ask a merchant or a user to scan a QR code on the merchant side or your own application or payment gateway or your own internet or mobile banking or any other form. Now over there you are able to quickly take that and then build that same thing of multi-factor coming in. And lastly, many times SMSs do not work globally, right? Or there's a
mm,
huge cost for it.
mm,
So try to move away from text messages or calls, and move towards out of band, which is push notification with a direct talk to the server, and then give a global, I would say, coverage, because push works globally. So there are very, very direct benefits of looking beyond OTP or just a 6-digit number that you key it and put it in, and expand it to make it much more complete. And that is why the term true MFA is coming in. And
mm,
lastly, there's a drive towards passwordless, which is biometrics on your phone, and that also is a way forward. I love passwordless or FIDO, for the simple reason is because firstly I have to be on my phone on that particular website to actually approve, and that itself makes it like a true multi-factor where DNS poisoning, man in the middle, these kind of attacks automatically get mitigated, and you yourself, even if you're using a shared phone, you yourself have to approve it. So the dispute part or non-repetition part also comes into that. So I think the world is getting more complex. That the MFA is moving toward becoming more complex, but in a better way. I think finally we'll be able to solve that problem. Very rightly, where hackers or the bad people cannot fake themselves or move themselves. Saying that this is me. Or steal my identity. So that is very, very important. I think this part is definitely has to be elevated. Right now, the tokens are just OTP, which is okay, but I think it has to move ahead. It has to become more complex, not for the users, but for the system. Yeah.
Okay, last
Okay.
one is onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
So 90% companies, what they shared is that their onboarding and their authentication and MFA platforms are completely disconnected.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense to have them together? Say ID verification and AML or PEP checks should lead to a higher state of security. Um, you know,
Yeah.
we need to move from low to high. So can a security token also be used for the same purpose? So it is easier for the customers, right?
Yes. I think, as you rightly said, that 90% of companies
Mm,
are, are having systems which are disconnected. And I think
mm,
that's the realization which all of us have to have. And I think pre-COVID, we were still able to use paper and, scans and, in-person kind of visits. But I think once the COVID has come in, we have to change ourselves. And that is where we realized that there is a big gap, on the onboarding part, which is not addressed by the multi-factor, right? Because in multi-factor world, I have been there, made the same mistake, that we felt that, okay, the person or the user is, already onboarded. I just need to give them a security token and elevate them. But then the problem started
mm,
happening is where hackers started attacking on the onboarding process, right? So from a customer point of view, why do I have to have different, aspects? One is different, another one's different. Now companies want to roll out a single system, but that is not being provided right now. So a solution, a good solution or a complete solution is where you are not just providing, multi-factor or single sign-on, but you're also providing onboarding as a complete continuous authentication package. So if you really look at this, if you really look at this particular video, so this is a video where you will see that, things like face to ID match, what device you're using, MRZ of your document, things like that. Then a handwritten signature, consent notes, all these things are getting used in the eKYC aspect, right? So these eKYC aspects should become part of your token or should become part of your embedded security token so that your applications which are on web or mobile can actually take advantage of that, right? So, and the direct benefit, Sana, just to add over here is that dedupe. So one of the use cases that we worked was that a user takes one SIM card from a telco, costs him $5, uses a driving license. He goes to another telco, buys another SIM card of $5 and uses his passport. Now imagine that same user is onboarding through two different profiles or personas, right? Now they both were onboarded because the system was disconnected. The MFA did not have any say in whether it's a same user or a different user, right? But if this whole thing was together, where I was able to identify, hey, this face is already registered, right? This device is already being used. Then suddenly equation would have been very different because now I know that this is one person who is being onboarded, but he's using two different sets of data or two different sets of documents, right? So that is where I think this has to come together, where your onboarding has to be part of your security token or IAM system that you're looking at. One or two companies like ForgeRock is doing it. Obviously, we are doing it, but still, if you look at Microsoft, if you look at Okta and a few other big guys, they still don't have any anything visible which says that okay, I have a whole customer onboarding aspect which I will take it ahead. Yeah, unless Okta buys Jumio or something like that. Just joking around. But the whole idea is that you should look at onboarding as a part and parcel of your authentication system to bring it in. Yeah. So Sana, I think that's where we have the last one. I guess that's the bonus one.
Yes, I just wanted to quickly ask you about how many, of your, it'll be great if you can share some what and whys about this.
Yeah. Okay. I think 2000. I think about 2021. I think June or July is when Harmony came out, which was by Huawei, and this has suddenly caught up a lot of fire, like a bushfire, where almost 240 million people have devices. Sorry, they should be in there. They have come in, and there's a month-on-month, huge growth that are coming in. Now, Harmony is same like Google has Android, Apple has iOS. So same way, Huawei has Harmony. And in Asia Pacific, in Latin America, Africa, Middle East, there's a take up is too huge because Huawei does have their own telco, I would say infrastructure products. So their phones get very well accommodated over there, in those aspects. And then obviously it is 5G enabled, so that means you are able to leverage, the next generation also. And the price point is good. It's much cheaper as compared to Apple. So there's a huge take up. And if you really look at it, the support for Harmony OS, because of the geopolitical situation, I'm not going there. I'm just purely talking about the technical part. The support is not there. So if you have customers who are using Huawei phones or Harmony OS phones, you are just shut out. That means your token does not run on Harmony. Now that itself is a huge drop in security, right? So I think when we are looking at it, I think regardless, we have to look at Harmony as one of the supported OSs, along with Google Android and iOS. So that's one of the things I wanted to also add in there because in only last 5 or 6 months this is coming in, and we have few customers in Asia Pacific who have specifically asked for this coming in because this is something which they see that their customers are asking, hey, do I have support for Harmony? Huawei. So obviously you as a as a service provider cannot say no, right? So we had to go back and work towards it. So just sharing what we realized and learned. So this is something which is a bonus point, in terms of support for Harmony OS should be there or should be considered. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Vikram. That was a very, I hope it was a very interesting and, informative session for everybody. I think there seems to be a problem with LinkedIn. It's not getting broadcast. So
Oh, okay.
maybe the best we can do is share the recording with everybody.
Yes, I think so. Oh, that's a bit funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys,
So
we're using StreamYard, so I think that should have worked. But yeah, okay. Anyway, we will make this available later. And Sana, any questions from Facebook that have popped in?
Yes, I did. I did get a couple. So about video calling SDK. So the video call SDK is a great idea, but uh, they're asking, can we have it on premise? Can we have an on-prem deployment for this?
Uh, I think I think yes, that's a very good question, because see, typically when you look at Twilio or any other system, AWS, Kinesis, Kinetics, and all that, they all are over the cloud, which is fine
Mm,
because if you're not regulated, you can use that excellent service. But if you
mm,
need to, then I think if you are building the next generation mobile experience of banking, where you want to do facial biometrics within your video calling and all that, then I think on-prem deployment is a good option, because firstly you get data ownership, data control, data security, everything happens. So yes, you're right. I think WeConnect, which is our platform, does get deployed, on-prem or on the cloud, whichever way, as Dockers, and then you can use that for call initiation as well as call recording, either automated or user consent, user initiated.
fantastic. And then awareness through videos is great, along with it being a marketing opportunity as well. So why is push a good option?
Oh, so many reasons. Firstly, it's free. Secondly, it's global. Thirdly, it's two-way. Fourthly, it carries a lot of data, rich data. Text message is only 160. This one can carry up to 8 or 16 KB or something like that. Finally, you can do a broadcast. There's a looping mechanism, and it's it just doesn't cost anything. So and it works for iOS, Android, any kind of devices. So if you really look at it, push notification is one of the best ways, to consider as security, in terms of alerts, in terms of pushing videos, awareness aspect, in terms of transaction approval and all that. So from a security point of view, I think push notification is one of the best things you should consider. Do not send a push to the user's phone and ask them to read a OTP and key it in. It just beats the whole purpose. Ask them to make the decision on that phone and swipe left or right, to approve it, and bring the multi-factor in. Because one of the things which I've realized, Sana, is that when you make a push come onto the phone and show the person a transaction, and you ask the person to read a OTP and key it back into the website, now the user
Mm,
can be on a man in the middle website, right?
mm,
So that is where you are not leveraging on push, and
I
you're
see.
still falling into the trap of man in the middle or script in the middle, right? So
Mm,
if you're using push, then do it. So a few banks, in Europe and over in Australia have started using push, but again, it's a bit of a half-baked solution, not really leveraging on push as a whole, because you can send a lot of data and then make a call back and loop back and say, okay, here's the transaction is approved.
fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Vikram, for all the information that you've shared with everybody, and thank you everyone for joining in our LinkedIn live session, which I'm not sure if it's getting broadcasted or not,
Yeah,
but either way, we'll be sharing a video recording of this session, and hope to see you next
yeah.
time with
Yeah, thank you so
more
much, guys.
interesting.
I think Facebook is still doing it, but I'm not sure what went wrong with LinkedIn. So I think, yeah, we will make it available and personally post it to everybody who's came in. Yeah, thank you so much. If there are any questions, please do let us know. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.